Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is the latest Arsenal player to be linked with a move to the Etihad. So I've come down to the Etihad today to speak to Arsenal fans for their game against Manchester City and find out what they think about the possibility of losing another one of their players to the Blue off of Manchester. What do you think about that as an Arsenal fan? Would you be willing to lose another player to Manchester City?
I think if the money was right, I'd be happy to let him go. Yeah, I think his performance is too inconsistent. He's a good dribbler, he's good on the ball, but he just doesn't produce often enough for me.
What would be that right price tag then for someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain?
I would say 25 million, 30 million. I'd happily let him go.
I don't know if you've seen in the papers this morning, there's some stories linking Oxlade-Chamberlain to Manchester City.
Okay.
How do you feel about it as an Arsenal fan?
Well, I haven't seen those stories for starters, but I've always he's had a lot of promise, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, I prefer him to Walcott, to be honest with you. I mean, Walcott's got so much pace. They're both quite similar. They get compared a lot, the two of them. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott, they tend to be quite inconsistent, but I'd hang on to him. I'd hang on to Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think if I was going to let one of the two go, I'd let Walcott go, personally. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's a bit more direct in his running. At least he has a go at the defender. Walcott tends to sort of just stop and pass the ball backwards. But if Man City can get him and he does want to go, then I think you've got a good signing there.
Would you be willing to sell another player to Manchester City then?
That's the question, and I mean we have done in the past a lot of times, you know what I mean? So yeah.
So you should be like their little feeder club.
Yeah, I mean, if a player wants to go, I just don't think you can hold him against their will. If he wants to go, if he comes out and says he wants to go, I mean, what can you do really?
Another potential Arsenal player going to Manchester City. How do you feel about that?
It's shocking, really. To be fair, we've given away too many of our players to City already. I feel like we need to get some continuity in terms of the players. In terms of we need to start keeping our players and building a squad. I think we've got a good core now. In terms of we've got a good spine now. I think he did well this summer with acquisitions. But I feel like we need to build on top of it. Chamberlain going to City. Is that really that big a miss? I don't know. Because I look at Chamberlain, look at the other teams like City. I mean, they got Sterling, got Sane. Are they better than Chamberlain? Maybe.
Season, I've just spoken to some Arsenal fans and they were like, do you know what? He blows hot and cold too much. Just sell him. As an Arsenal fan, how would it make you feel though if in January, let's say, you lost another player to Manchester City?
It would obviously be awful. I mean, we haven't since Sanya was the last one, I think, but
right.
he was quite a big loss. I really loved him, but I mean, I think he does blow hot and cold, but he's not. This is not like some 27-year-old we're talking about here. You know, he's still young. He's still got a lot in him, and I think there's something that really Wenger can do a lot there. It's not surprised that Guardiola wants him. I mean, you know, he's exactly his sort of player. We see what he can probably do with him, something that is similar to what he's done with Raheem Sterling, sort of coming into his own. So I think, you know, it'd be a big blow if we lost him. Okay. I really don't want to.
Story this morning in the papers linking Oxlade-Chamberlain to Manchester City. What do you feel about that?
Well, when I first read the story, I don't think he'll go. I don't think Arsenal will get him. Not to City anyway.
Why not? Is that because you've sold already now too many players to Manchester City recently, or is it the fact that his form is a rival? What's the situation?
More for the fact that he's a rival. We don't need to sell our players to City no more, because we're buying players now that are improving us, and we haven't got to sell big players to our rivals like we have before in the past, like Van Persie and things.